everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine.
What do you got, Catherine, for us today?
That's a good question. Well, we've got a little bit of a Seinfeld situation. So, for those of you who are not familiar with this American TV show, which, by the way, is one of my favorites, Seinfeld is a TV show, a comedy about very awkward, very common situations that are taken to the extreme.
Right, so it's a very popular show. It was around for like 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
And but it's not airing anymore. Well, they're not making new episodes anymore.
No, you have to see them in reruns.
Reruns, right? So we have a situation that's very common. It was pretty funny on the show. It's a guy trying to rent a car.
Okay, so he's probably at the airport or traveling, and he's had a long flight and he wants to rent a car,
But of course, there are some problems. So This is an elementary level lesson, by the way, so keep that in mind as we listen to this dialogue one time.
Hi, I made a reservation for a mid-sized vehicle.
The name is Jimmy Fox. I'm sorry, we have no mid-size available at the moment.
I don't understand. I made a reservation. Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
I know why we have reservations. I don't think you do.
If you did, I'd have a car. See, you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anybody can just take them.
But we do have a compact or an SUV if you'd like.
Fine. I'll take the compact.
All right. We have a blue Ford Focus for you, Mr. Fox.
Would you like insurance?
Yeah, you better give me the insurance because I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
All right, great. So this actually happens a lot. You make a reservation and either they lose it or they run out of cars. It's such a common situation.
And it's not just cars. Sometimes this happens at restaurants too, and it really makes me angry.
Yeah, that happens a lot. You show up and they're like, oh, we don't have a reservation. And it's just like...
Well, you have to keep yourself in check if you like angry. But this guy does. So let's take a look at the language takeaway to find out what are some of the words we're using here to describe renting a car and the kind of car we're talking about. Language takeaway.
Well, as you mentioned, at rental places, they have different size vehicles,
Which, by the way, costs different prices.
Right. So let's take a look at the sizes that they mentioned in dialogue. Starting with the cheapest one, the least expensive, and the smallest, it's a compact vehicle.
All right, compact. So compact actually means small.
Small.
Right, so compact car you're going to hear very often, even if you're buying a car. Let's think of what's a compact car? The VW Golf is a compact car, very small car.
So usually it's 2 doors, or if it's a 4-door car, it's very small, not very long, right?
Right, exactly.
So maybe like a Ford Focus could be a small car,
also
a compact. Now moving up in size a little bit, we would have a mid-size vehicle.
Okay, mid-size vehicle is, it's a giveaway here because mid means middle. So it's kind of in the middle between the small and the large. And this is your average 4-door sedan car.
Okay, so as an example, you would have a Ford Taurus or maybe a Toyota Camry.
Yeah, Toyota Camry is maybe the most common car. Yeah,
It's kind of expensive, but it's still mid-size, right?
Exactly.
And now a bigger car, and probably one of the most popular cars in the United States, is an SUV.
Not anymore, Marco.
I know.
With the energy crisis and the
Gas prices.
and the economy as well. People are not driving their SUVs anymore. But SUV is an acronym. That means it stands for 3 different words. S meaning
Sports.
U meaning
Utility.
V.
Vehicle.
All right, thank you. So SUV, sport utility vehicle, it means it can go maybe off-road.
Right. So an example of this would be a Ford Explorer or
Jeep Cherokee.
A Jeep Cherokee could be an SUV as well. So right, those are 3 different types of cars. Now obviously there are many more, like a van or a
limo.
A limo, like a limousine. But yeah, these are the most common ones that you would rent at a car rental place.
Yeah, definitely. But what we have to do here is make a reservation.
Now, interesting, you make a reservation.
Yeah, you don't have it. You don't do it. You don't
You make it.
Yeah, you make these are words that go together, so we're gonna keep them together. I can call a restaurant. So, say for example, Marco works at a restaurant. Say, hello, I'd like to make a reservation for tonight.
Oh, okay, perfect. Now, if you show up at the restaurant, you say,
where's my table? I made a reservation.
right.
And of course, I throw a fit because there's no
They don't
table
have
for
it.
me. So you make a reservation, and in this case, it was made before.
Okay, so you make a reservation. Now, why was this guy angry at the rental car place?
Oh, long story short, the company ran out of cars.
Okay.
Not all cars, just the car that he wanted,
Right.
the mid-size vehicle.
So they ran out. So that doesn't mean they're actually running somewhere.
No, they're not putting on their running shoes and going for a jog. No, in this case, to run out, or in this case, we ran out, means that they don't have any more.
You don't have any more. Exactly. I think this word is a nice word for us to take a look at some other examples now.
Example 1. We're going to run out of gasoline. We need to find a gas station soon. Example 2.
Can you buy some milk on your way home? We ran out last night.
Example 3. My pen ran out of ink. Can you lend me one, please?
Not a fun phrase, but an important one in case you're ever in a restaurant or in a hotel or in a place where you can purchase something or rent something and it's all gone.
All right. So I think we've taken a look at a lot of great words here. So let's listen to this dialogue again. We're going to slow it down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and explain some phrases.
Hi, I made a reservation for a mid-sized vehicle. The name is Jimmy Fox.
I'm sorry. We have no midsize available at the moment.
I don't understand. I made a reservation. Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do. If you did, I'd have a car. See, you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anybody can just take them.
But we do have a compact or an SUV if you'd like.
Fine. I'll take the compact.
All right. We have a blue Ford Focus for you, Mr. Fox. Would you like insurance?
Yeah, you better give me the insurance because I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
And we're back. So, Marco, we've got a couple phrases here that deserve some attention. So let's take a look at them in today's Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So the first phrase that I want to take a look at is when the agent says, "I'm sorry, we have no mid-size available at the moment."
Okay, so do they or do they not have any?
Yeah, she says, "We have no mid-size."
Okay, so another way to say this is, we haven't got any.
Or we don't have any.
Okay, but in this case, you can just simplify it and say we have no.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't she say we have none?
Good question. Why?
Because we need a thing here. We have no cars. We have no cake. We have no food. So this is a very common phrase in English. And remember to put the thing at the end. So,
So, for example, can I say, "I have no money"?
Absolutely. I'm so sorry. I have no money. Seriously, lend me some money. No, this is interesting because this is not a structure that is usually learned through textbooks, right? Usually saying I don't have or we haven't got.
exactly. It's very spoken because you would never say, I go now.
Right, exactly.
Right? We have to talk about something that that has an object, something that we have. So here, I have no is very spoken, very common. It's got another phrase that is also not taught so much in those textbooks that we were just mentioning. So what's that phrase at the end?
Well.
Threat. It's a threat. The guy is so angry, he leans over the counter and he points his finger in the agent's face. And what does he say?
He says, "Yeah, you better give me the insurance.
You better.
You better."
All right, so you better than me?
No, it's not like better, like something is good, right? You'd better is like a suggestion, but a very strong one.
Okay,
Right?
very strong. This is a threat.
Yeah,
You better eat your dinner or I'm going to send you to your room.
Exactly.
All night. Yeah.
So as you can see, it says he says, you better give me the insurance. But the grammatically correct way would be,
You had better.
you had better. So the contraction would be you'd better.
Exactly. You had better do this. So this is it's a hypothetical situation. You had better do this. If you don't do this, bad things will happen. So remember that here we've got the grammatically correct form that you should write, you'd better, or the spoken form, you better.
You better. I think in this one we should also listen to some other examples to get a better idea of how we can use this strong suggestion.
Example 1.
You better go to the doctor before that cold gets any worse.
Example 2. You better watch out. It's dangerous to go out this late. Example 3.
She better change her attitude, or her boss is going to fire her.
So what is the threat? You better give me insurance because what is he going to do?
He says, I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
Okay, so this is future. I'm going to. I'm gonna.
Right?
Beat the hell out of this car. So this is very strong, right?
Yeah, it's very strong, and he's saying he is going to destroy the car.
So beat the hell out of, so that means really just do damage to something.
So you can use it towards a person also. It's like, I'm going to beat the hell out of you.
And I'll arrest you for violence.
Right, so it's a very strong phrase. It shows anger, it shows that you are threatening somebody. So it's not polite.
And it might get you a broken nose in a bar if you ever say this to someone or about someone, so be very careful.
Right, but you can use it to describe a situation, right? He's like, yeah, we went to a bar yesterday, and Dan beat the hell out of the bartender. Right?
Man.
So instead of just saying Dan hit the bartender or Dan got into a fight, you're saying he hit him and he
kept hitting him and kept hitting him and kept hitting him. So
Right.
yeah, he beat the hell out of him.
Right.
All right, great. So those are the phrases and words that we wanted to talk about today. But I think it'd be good if we listen to this dialogue one more time just to get a good feel for it. When we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about the process of renting a car.
Hi, I made a reservation for a mid-sized vehicle. The name is Jimmy Fox.
I'm sorry. We have no midsize available at the moment.
I don't understand. I made a reservation. Do you have my reservation?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately, we ran out of cars.
But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation.
I know why we have reservations.
I don't think you do. If you did, I'd have a car. See, you know how to take the reservation. You just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anybody can just take them.
But we do have a compact or an SUV if you'd like.
Fine. I'll take the compact.
All right. We have a blue Ford Focus for you, Mr. Fox. Would you like insurance?
Yeah, you better give me the insurance because I'm gonna beat the hell out of this car.
That in Florida, or in certain cities of California and Florida, you can actually rent luxury cars.
Oh yeah, you can do that in most places.
You can rent like a
Porsche.
or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Obviously, it costs a lot of money, but it gives you the opportunity to maybe drive one of these cars that you obviously wouldn't have the money to buy.
Yeah, especially if you're talking about those warm places like Florida, California, you want to be in the sunshine, you get a convertible.
You got to get a convertible.
Yeah, so I think the insurance premiums on those particular cars are very high, though. So you're not only paying for the car, but you're also paying for the insurance and possibly the speeding tickets.
Yeah, of course. I can't imagine renting one of those cars and not getting a speeding ticket.
Exactly. So if any of you out there have experience renting cars or you have some questions about the specifics that are involved in this process, let us know on our website, englishpod.com.
Right, we're there to answer any questions or doubts, and we'll see you guys there.
All right, until next time, everyone.
Bye.
Welcome to today's English podcast conversation. Let's dive into a really common and super practical situation: renting a car while traveling. This can happen when you're on vacation, a business trip, or even just getting your car repaired. But here's the thing, things don't always go smoothly. That's why it's important to know what to say and how to handle the unexpected in English. Let's take a look at a real conversation. Hi there. I have a reservation for a car. The name's Emma Wells. B. Okay, let me check that. Yes, I see your reservation. But I'm afraid we don't have any mid-size cars available right now. Wait, what do you mean? I booked a mid-size car 3 weeks ago. I made the reservation online and got a confirmation email. B. Yes, I understand. It's just that we've run out of that size. A lot of people came in early this morning. The cars went fast. So what's the point of making a reservation if the car isn't guaranteed? B. I completely understand your frustration. A reservation usually holds a car for you, but sometimes if people don't return their rentals on time, we run into issues. That's not acceptable. I have places to be today, and I need a reliable car, not something tiny. B. I can offer you a compact or an SUV instead. No extra charge for the upgrade. Okay, I guess the SUV would work. At least I'll have more space. Be great. I have a white Toyota RAV4 ready to go. Would you like to add insurance to your rental? Is that really necessary? B. It's optional but recommended. If anything happens, like scratches, dents, or an accident, the insurance will cover it. Otherwise, you might have to pay out of pocket. All right. Better safe than sorry. Go ahead and add the insurance. B. Perfect. Just sign here, and I'll bring the keys around. Let's break this down a bit so we can learn some helpful expressions and grammar tips. 1. We've run out of. This is a great phrase to know. Run out of means there's none left. Examples. Sorry, I ran out of time to finish the project. Try using this instead of always saying, we don't have. It's more natural and shows the process of something becoming unavailable. 2. What's the point of? A great way to express frustration or confusion. What's the point of studying if I'm just going to forget everything? What's the point of a reservation if there's no car? 3. Better safe than sorry, a very common expression when talking about taking precautions. I always lock my doors at night. Better safe than sorry. I got the insurance. Better safe than sorry. 4. No extra charge, useful when talking about prices. You can bring one carry-on. No extra charge. We upgraded you to a suite. No extra charge. Cultural tip. In the US, car rental companies often overbook cars, expecting that not everyone will show up. This is why even with a reservation, it's not 100% guaranteed. It's frustrating, but knowing how to speak up calmly and clearly in English can help you get better service. Stick around for more practical English with real-life value. Excuse me, I just picked up the car, and I noticed a scratch on the back bumper. I don't want to be blamed for it later. Be good at. Thanks for letting us know. Let me take a photo and mark it on the inspection sheet. Yeah, I've heard horror stories about people being charged for damage they didn't cause. B. That can definitely happen if you don't report it before you drive off. Always a good idea to inspect the car. Check the outside and take your own pictures, just in case. I got it. So, this inspection form is kind of like proof? B. Exactly. It shows the car's condition before you took it. That way, when you return it, we compare it to this. Makes sense. Hey, what about the fuel policy? Do I need to return it full? B. Yes. It's full now, so we ask that you return it with a full tank. If not, we'll have to charge you for refueling, and the rate is much higher. Okay, I'll make sure to stop for gas before I come back. Be great. Also, here's your rental agreement. It outlines the insurance, the return time, and the daily rate. Daily rate? That means I'm paying per day, right? B. Exactly. If you return the car late, you may be charged for an extra day, even if it's just a couple of hours over. So, is there a grace period? B. Usually there's a 1-hour grace period, but it depends on the location. Always better to double check. Thanks for explaining all this. It's a lot to think about. B. No problem. Renting a car has a lot of small details, but once you understand the basics, it's pretty straightforward. Let's break down some helpful expressions and tips from this conversation. 1. Good eye. This is a casual compliment we use when someone notices something important or hard to see. You spotted the typo? Good eye. Good eye catching that damage before leaving. 2. Horror stories. In English, this doesn't always mean ghosts. It can mean really bad or unpleasant experiences. I've heard horror stories about airline delays. People have horror stories about renting cars without checking them first. 3. Take your own pictures. This is a good travel habit. In English, we often say just in case to mean to be safe. I packed extra clothes just in case. I took photos of the car just in case something happens. 4. Daily rate and grace period. Important vocabulary for travelers. Daily rate equals how much you pay each day. Grace period equals extra time allowed before a penalty. Example, you have a 10-minute grace period before the meeting starts. Practical tip, always ask about fuel policies and return times. In many English-speaking countries, failing to return a rental car with a full tank or arriving late can cost you a lot. Learning to ask the right questions and understanding the answers can save you time and money. And remember, being polite but firm in English goes a long way. One more thing. What if I get a flat tire or the car breaks down while I'm driving? B. Good question. Our rentals come with roadside assistance. If anything happens, just call the number on the back of this key tag. Someone will be sent to help you. A. Oh, that's a relief. I wasn't sure if I'd be stuck with the problem or not. B. Nope, you're covered. Just make sure not to drive off-road or in restricted areas. That can void the agreement. I got it. So, no driving on dirt roads or through rivers, right? B. Exactly. Stick to paved roads and everything should be fine. Also, avoid smoking in the vehicle. That's a common reason people lose their deposit. Yeah, I don't smoke, so no worries there. Speaking of deposits, how much was it again? B. We placed a $300 hold on your credit card. That gets released when you return the car in good condition. So it's not actually charged unless there's a problem? B. Right. It's more like a temporary freeze on that amount. Okay, cool. What happens if I decide I need the car for longer than planned? B. Just call us before your return time and we'll extend the contract. If you return it late without letting us know, there's an extra fee. Makes sense. Thanks for explaining everything. I feel a lot more confident now. Now let's dig into some of the useful phrases and expressions in that conversation. 1. Roadside assistance. This means emergency help with your vehicle when you're out driving. My battery died, but luckily I had roadside assistance. If you rent a car, always ask if roadside assistance is included. 2. Just in case versus you're covered. These are phrases that give comfort. You're covered means your insurance or plan includes that service. Example, don't worry, you're covered for engine trouble. 3. Void the agreement. This means to cancel or make a contract invalid. If you break the rules, your contract could be void. Driving off-road might void your insurance coverage. 4. Hold on your credit card. This is different from a charge. A hold freezes the money temporarily. The hotel placed a $100 hold for incidentals. The rental car company puts a hold as a safety guarantee. 5. Temporary freeze. This means you can't use that amount of money until the hold is lifted. It's not spent, but it's unavailable during that time. Real-life tip. Always check if the hold is removed after returning the car. Sometimes it takes a few days depending on the bank. Bonus phrase, stick to paved roads. In English, stick to means stay with or don't leave. Stick to the plan. Stick to paved roads. Using these phrases correctly makes you sound more fluent and helps you navigate tricky situations confidently. So, one last question. What happens if I get a speeding ticket or some kind of fine while I have the car? B. Good question. If you get a traffic ticket, it's your responsibility to pay it. If it's a camera ticket, it usually comes to us first, and then we charge your card. That sounds fair. But what if I don't even know I got one? B. That happens. Sometimes it takes a few weeks before the ticket arrives. We'll notify you and provide a copy of the fine. And then you just take the money from my card? B. Right. Plus, there may be an administrative fee for processing the ticket. I see. So I should really make sure to follow the speed limit and traffic rules. B. Definitely. Also, be careful with toll roads. If you drive through a toll booth without paying, it can result in extra charges. Toll roads? How do I know if I'm on one? B. Usually there are signs that say toll road ahead or easy pass only. If you're unsure, check your map app. Some GPS systems can even avoid tolls if you change the settings. A. That's helpful. I'll set my navigation to skip toll roads, just to be safe. B. Good idea. And if you do need to use one, just make sure to pay at the booth or use the electronic pass in the car. Some rentals include that. A. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I definitely don't want surprise charges after the trip. Let's look at the practical English we learned here. 1. Traffic ticket or fine. Ticket, in this context, is not for a concert or a movie. It means a penalty for breaking the law, usually while driving. I got a speeding ticket last month. He had to pay a fine for illegal parking. 2. Your responsibility. This means it's your duty or obligation to take care of it. It's your responsibility to refill the tank. Cleaning the apartment before you leave is your responsibility. 3. Administrative fee. A small charge to cover paperwork or handling. The bank charges an administrative fee to close the account. There's a $15 admin fee for processing traffic fines. 4. Heads up, a very natural, casual way to say a warning or a helpful notice. Just a heads up, the parking lot closes at 8. Thanks for the heads up about the toll road. 5. Set your navigation to skip tolls. Very practical language. Set equals configure or adjust. Navigation equals GPS or map system. You can say, I set my GPS to avoid highways, or set it to skip traffic. Travel tip. In many countries, toll roads are common, and if you don't pay, the fine gets mailed to the rental company. Knowing this can save you money and stress later. Practicing English in these real situations not only builds vocabulary, it also makes you more confident every time you travel. A. I was reading through the rental agreement last night, and there were some things I didn't quite understand. Can I ask you about them? B. Of course. What were you unsure about? There was something about mileage limits. It said unlimited miles in one place, but extra mileage fees in another. That confused me. B. That's a good one. Some rentals come with unlimited mileage, meaning you can drive as far as you want without extra cost. Others have a daily limit, like 150 miles per day. If you go over that, you pay a fee per extra mile. So how do I know which one I have? B. Look on the rental agreement under mileage terms. If it says unlimited, you're all set. If it shows a number like 150 miles per day, then it's limited. Okay, let me double check that. I think mine is unlimited, but I'll make sure. B. Good idea. Better to be sure than to get surprised by a bill later. And what about additional drivers? My friend might need to drive too. Can she? B. Only if she's added to the contract. Otherwise, if something happens while she's driving, insurance won't cover it. A. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. So she just has to show her license? B. Yep, bring her by the counter and we'll add her. There may be a small fee depending on your plan. A. That's fine. It's worth it for peace of mind. B. Definitely. And keep in mind, only named drivers are legally allowed to drive the car. Let's look at some great vocabulary and real-life English from this part. 1. Unlimited mileage versus limited mileage. Unlimited mileage equals no restrictions on how far you can drive. Limited mileage equals you can only drive a set distance per day. Example, this rental comes with a 100-mile per day limit. Additional miles are 20 cents each. 2. Peace of mind. This is a very natural and positive phrase. It means feeling relaxed because everything is taken care of. I bought travel insurance for peace of mind. Paying the extra fee gave me peace of mind. 3. Better to be sure than surprised by a bill later. This is not a fixed phrase, but a very natural way to express the value of checking details early. You can say, it's better to double-check than deal with a problem later. 4. Named drivers. A named driver is a person officially listed on the rental agreement. Only named drivers can legally operate the vehicle. You must register all drivers ahead of time. 5. Bring her by the counter. This is a casual but useful phrase. Bring someone by means have them come with you to a place. Counter refers to the front desk or service desk. Pro tip, Always ask about mileage and additional drivers before driving off. These are two of the most common things people overlook, and they can lead to expensive mistakes. A. Hey, I just got a message saying the return location for the car has changed. What's that about? B. Yes, sometimes the drop-off point gets updated if the original one becomes unavailable, like due to maintenance or high volume. But don't worry, the new location isn't far. A. I planned everything based on the original address. How much further is this new one? B. It's about 10 minutes away from the airport. Still convenient, and we'll send you a map with directions. A. Okay. So, I just drive there and hand over the keys? B. Yes. When you arrive, a staff member will check the fuel level, look over the car, and then close out the rental. A. Is there anything I need to do before I return it? B. Definitely. Make sure to fill up the gas tank to the same level it was when you got it, remove all your personal belongings, and check the trunk too. Good reminder. I always forget something in the glove compartment. B. Happens all the time. And if you return the car after hours, there's a drop box for the keys. Just lock the car and place the keys inside the labeled box. A. That's useful. So I don't need to talk to anyone if I drop it off late? B. Correct. Just remember, if anything happens to the car after hours and before we check it, you're still responsible. So take pictures when you return it, especially if no one's there to inspect it. I got it. I'll take a few photos, just to be safe. Let's look at some practical and natural English expressions from this conversation. 1. Drop-off point or return location. These refer to where you give the car back. Is the drop-off point the same as pickup? They changed the return location at the last minute. 2. Close out the rental. This means to finish the rental process, officially return the car, and settle any final charges. After the inspection, they'll close out the rental. We closed out the rental and got the deposit back. 3. Remove all personal belongings. This is polite, clear language used in travel and customer service situations. He left his sunglasses and passport in the car. 4. After hours, a useful phrase that means outside normal business times. The office is closed after hours. There's a drop box if you return the car after hours. 5. Just to be safe, another natural, everyday phrase. It means doing something to avoid risk. I set an alarm for 5:30 a.m. just to be safe. I kept a copy of the receipt just to be safe. Cultural tip. In many English-speaking countries, after-hours key drop is common at car rental agencies. But you are still responsible for the car until staff inspect it, so taking clear photos of the vehicle can protect you from being charged for damage you didn't cause. Being careful, asking questions, and using the right language in English can make your entire trip smoother. So, I've been driving the rental for a couple of days now, and I noticed a warning light on the dashboard. It's the tire pressure symbol. What should I do? B. That usually means one or more of your tires are a little low on air. It's common, especially with changes in temperature. You can stop by a gas station and use the air pump. Do I need to pay for that? B. Usually it's free, but in some places you'll need a few coins. If you're unsure how to do it, you can ask someone at the station. They're often happy to help. A. And if the light doesn't go off after that? B. Then you should give us a call. We can either guide you to the nearest service center or swap out the vehicle if needed. That's reassuring. I didn't want to mess anything up or break the agreement. B. You're doing the right thing by checking and reporting it. The agreement says you should let us know about any mechanical problems, even small ones. Got it. Oh, and what about cleaning the car before I bring it back? Do I need to wash it? B. Normally no. We don't expect you to wash the car, but we do expect it to come back in reasonable condition. So, no trash, food wrappers, or sand all over the seats. No sand, I promise. Just a few crumbs maybe. B. Crumbs are fine. But if the car comes back unusually dirty, there might be a cleaning fee. Things like spilled drinks, pet hair, or strong odors, those can lead to charges. Makes sense. I'll tidy it up before dropping it off. Let's look at the practical English and teachable moments in this section. 1. Warning light / dashboard light. These are those little icons that show up in your car's control panel. A warning light came on while I was driving. The dashboard showed a check engine light. 2. Tire pressure, important vocabulary if you drive. The tire pressure is too low. I filled up the tires and the warning light turned off. 3. Mess anything up, a very common casual phrase. I didn't want to mess anything up equals I didn't want to cause a problem. Other examples. Don't mess up the timing. He messed up the order at the restaurant. 4. In reasonable condition. This is business English for not too dirty or not damaged. We expect the apartment to be returned in reasonable condition. The car was still in good, reasonable condition after the trip. 5. Cleaning fee. Another common term when renting cars, staying in hotels, or using Airbnb. They charged us a cleaning fee because we left dirty dishes. There may be a pet cleaning fee if you bring a dog. Pro tip, if a light appears on the dashboard and you're not sure what it means, it's always better to ask. This shows responsibility and protects you from possible damage fees. Being able to talk about mechanical problems, even simple ones like tire pressure, gives you more control and confidence when using English on the road. I've been thinking, what if I get into a small accident while driving the rental? Like, say I bump into another car or hit a pole while parking. B. Hopefully that won't happen, but if it does, the first thing is to make sure everyone's okay. Then you should call the local police to file a report, even if the damage is minor. Even for a small scratch? B. Yes, especially with a rental car. Having a police report helps clarify what happened and protects you from being blamed unfairly. I got it. So I call the police and then I call you? B. Exactly. Once you've spoken to the police, contact us right away. We'll guide you through the next steps and let you know if a vehicle exchange is needed. And what if I took the insurance? Does it cover this? B. If you purchased our insurance, you should be covered for damage, depending on the policy. Some cover everything. Others may have a deductible, a fixed amount you still need to pay. What if I used my credit card for the rental? I heard some credit cards include rental insurance. B. That's true, but it depends on the card. You'll have to contact your card provider and file a claim with them. They usually need the rental agreement, police report, and photos of the damage. Well, it sounds like documentation is everything. B. Absolutely. Take lots of photos, from all angles, even close-ups. And never try to hide damage. It's better to report it honestly right away. Makes sense. I'd rather deal with it properly than have a big issue later. Let's break down the important language and learning points. 1. File a report, a formal way to say officially report something, usually to police or an authority. I filed a report after the accident. You need to file a report if anything gets stolen. 2. Deductible, a key insurance word. It means the part you pay before insurance covers the rest. There's a $500 deductible on this plan. I had to pay the deductible before the insurance kicked in. 3. Covered versus not covered. These terms are used in insurance all the time. That damage is covered under your policy. Theft is not covered with this basic plan. 4. File a claim, to officially ask for money from insurance. If you're covered, just file a claim and follow the steps. 5. Documentation, a formal word for papers, evidence, and records. Always keep your documentation when dealing with insurance. You'll need proper documentation to prove your case. Bonus tip, never try to hide a scratch or small accident. It almost always gets discovered, and the consequences are worse if you didn't report it. Being upfront is respected and often leads to a smoother process. Learning how to talk about accidents and insurance in English gives you real power, because when something unexpected happens, clear communication is everything. I just realized I've never actually rented a car outside my home country before. Are there any special rules or things I should know when renting abroad? B. Definitely. Renting a car in a different country can be a bit different. First off, you'll need a valid driver's license, and in some countries, you also need an international driving permit, or IDP. I've heard of that. Is it like a translation of your license? B. Exactly. It doesn't replace your license, but it works as a supplement, especially in places where English isn't widely spoken. Some rental companies require it even if you're fluent in English. Good to know. What about driving rules? Are they mostly the same? B. Some are similar, but not all. For example, in the UK and Australia, they drive on the left side of the road. Speed limits might be in kilometers instead of miles, and road signs can vary a lot. That sounds a little intimidating. B. It can be at first, but just take it slow, study the basics of local road rules, and use GPS with voice guidance in English if possible. It helps a lot. A. And what about insurance in a foreign country? Is it different? B. Often yes. In many places, basic insurance is required by law and automatically included, but it might only cover third-party damage. That means it pays for damage to other cars, not yours. Oh wow. So I should probably get extra coverage then? B. It's a smart move. Look for collision damage waiver or full protection coverage. It's a little more expensive, but you'll have peace of mind. A. Definitely. I'd rather enjoy my trip than worry about a small scratch on the car. Now let's explore the useful vocabulary and expressions. 1. International Driving Permit, IDP. A document that translates your license into multiple languages. I brought my IDP in case they needed it. Some countries won't rent to you without an international driving permit. 2. Supplement, something that adds to or completes something else. This guidebook is a great supplement to your travel app. The IDP is a supplement to your license, not a replacement. 3. Third-party damage. In insurance terms, this refers to damage you cause to others, not yourself. Basic insurance usually covers third-party damage only. You need extra coverage to protect your own car. 4. Collision damage waiver, CDW. A common rental insurance term. It limits your responsibility if the rental car gets damaged. With CDW, you won't pay the full cost of repair. Always ask if collision damage waiver is included. 5. Take it slow and peace of mind. Both very natural, reassuring phrases. If you're nervous driving abroad, take it slow. Buying extra insurance gave me peace of mind during my trip. Cultural tip. Driving laws vary widely from country to country. Before you travel, always research whether you'll need an IDP, what the speed limits are, and what local customs might affect your driving style. Knowing how to ask the right questions and use these phrases in English makes renting and driving abroad much smoother and safer. By the way, when I booked the car online, I noticed there were all these optional extras. GPS, child seats, even Wi-Fi. Do people actually add those? B. Some do. It depends on your needs. For example, if your phone plan doesn't include data in this country, adding GPS or Wi-Fi to the rental can be really useful. That makes sense. I usually just use my phone for directions, but I guess I'd need roaming or a local SIM. B. Right. And a lot of people traveling with kids request child safety seats. In many countries, it's illegal for children to ride without proper restraints. I didn't realize that could be a legal issue. So it's not just about comfort, it's required? B. Exactly. Laws vary, but most places take child safety very seriously. And if you're pulled over and don't have the right seat, you could get a fine. Good to know. What about things like snow chains or winter tires? B. In colder regions or during winter, those can be essential. Some areas even require winter tires by law. The rental company usually knows the local rules and can advise you when you book. That's helpful. Are there any extras you recommend even if they cost a bit more? B. Honestly, a second driver option is often worth it, especially on long trips. It lets you share the driving and take breaks without stressing about insurance coverage. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but it's a good idea. Long drives can be exhausting. B. Exactly. And if you're ever unsure about whether an extra is useful or not, just ask. It's better to get clear info at the beginning than regret missing something halfway through your trip. I agree. Planning ahead just makes everything smoother. Let's unpack some useful phrases and vocabulary from this part. 1. Optional extras. These are add-ons you can choose when renting, usually for an extra fee. Optional extras include things like Wi-Fi, GPS, or additional insurance. I didn't add any extras, just the basic rental. 2. Roaming and local SIM. These are essential travel terms for using your phone abroad. My phone plan doesn't include roaming, so I bought a local SIM card. Turn off roaming to avoid extra charges when traveling. 3. Child restraints/safety seats. These are legally required in many countries. You must use child restraints if you're traveling with young children. The rental company can provide a booster seat or infant carrier. 4. Snow chains and winter tires. Important if you're driving in snowy or icy conditions. Snow chains give better traction in deep snow. Some countries require winter tires between certain months. 5. Second driver option. This allows more than one person to legally drive the rental. I added my friend as a second driver. The second driver option gave us more flexibility on the road. Practical tip: don't just skip the extras without considering them. While some are unnecessary, others, like child seats, extra drivers, or snow gear, can be essential depending on your trip. Planning, asking smart questions, and using clear English gives you control and confidence when renting a car, wherever you are in the world.
Hi there and welcome. Let's imagine you're at an airport, tired from your flight, and all you want is to pick up the rental car you booked days ago. You walk up to the counter and say, "Hey, I have a reservation." That's a good start. But what if they tell you, "Sorry, we have no mid-size vehicles available"? That moment can be frustrating, and knowing what to say and how to say it politely but clearly can help you a lot. In today's conversation, let's break down this kind of real-life situation. First, the phrase "I made a reservation" is your basic tool. You can also say "I booked a car" or "I have a booking." These are all natural ways to express the same idea. Now, let's say the agent replies with, "We have no mid-size available." This is a great phrase to learn. Have no is often used in place of don't have any. Short, direct, and common in everyday speech. For example, "We have no water" or "I have no time today." Just remember, you need to include a noun, something you're referring to, after have no. Now, if you hear something like "we ran out of cars," that's another way to say they don't have any more. The verb phrase "run out of" is very useful. You can run out of gas, run out of time, or even run out of patience. It shows that the supply has finished. In moments like these, it's also helpful to stay calm but firm. You can say, "I understand, but I made a reservation and expect the car to be available." Practicing polite yet clear communication helps you sound confident and reasonable, which often leads to better service. Let's continue exploring this situation in depth, and I'll show you more helpful phrases and vocabulary you can use when renting a car or handling unexpected situations. When you're standing at the rental desk and the agent tells you, "We have no mid-size cars available," it can be surprising, especially if you made the reservation ahead of time. But let's turn this challenge into a learning moment. In English, when we want to express strong surprise or disagreement politely, we often start with something like, "I'm sorry, but," or "I don't understand." For example, you can say, "I'm sorry, but I don't understand." "I made a reservation." This phrase shows you're confused but still polite. Another very useful sentence is, "Can you please check again?" or "Could you double-check the system?" These are respectful ways to ask someone to verify something without sounding rude. Now, let's break down the phrase "we have no mid-size available." Instead of no, you could also hear "we don't have any mid-size cars right now," or "we're out of mid-size vehicles at the moment." The expression "at the moment" is another everyday phrase meaning right now. It's softer than saying now and sounds more natural. Let's practice using it. "I can't talk at the moment," or "we don't have any tables available at the moment." Also, when someone says "we ran out of cars," the phrase "ran out of" is in the past tense. The base form is "run out of." You can use it in many situations. "We ran out of milk," "I ran out of time," or even "she ran out of energy after the long hike." It's a great expression that native speakers use all the time. In rental situations, you might want to ask, "What do you have available?" or "Is there anything else I can take today?" These questions show flexibility and keep the conversation moving forward. Key here is learning how to stay calm, use polite expressions, and be ready with alternative questions when things don't go exactly as planned. These are powerful tools that not only improve your English but also help you handle real-life challenges with more confidence. So, let's say the rental agent tells you that your reserved car is not available, but they offer you other options. Maybe they say, "We do have a compact or an SUV if you'd like." This is a great time to practice how to respond clearly and naturally in English. You can say a compact is fine, or I'll take the compact, thanks. Notice how simple and smooth those sentences are. You're making a decision and you're showing that you're flexible. But let's also understand the vocabulary here. What is a compact? In car rental terms, a compact is a small car smaller than a mid-size or full-size. It's usually good for city driving and short trips. An SUV stands for Sport Utility Vehicle. It's bigger, taller, and often used for more space or driving on rough roads. So when someone offers you a compact or an SUV, they are giving you different categories of vehicles. You can also ask, what's the daily rate for the SUV? Or is there a price difference between the two? The phrase daily rate means how much you pay per day to rent the car. It's a good idea to know that term before you agree to anything. If you're not sure which car to choose, you could ask, which one would you recommend, or which one has better gas mileage? This is a smart way to get help and practice polite language at the same time. And if you want to sound extra polite, you can say, I'd prefer a compact if that's okay, or would it be possible to get the SUV instead? These expressions make you sound friendly and respectful, which often leads to better service. The more you understand these real-life terms like compact, SUV, daily rate, and how to use them in questions, the more natural and confident your English will become. Being ready with these responses can make your travel experience much smoother and your conversations much more effective. Once you've chosen your car, the next step usually involves the agent asking, would you like insurance? This is a key moment, and it's also a great chance to learn some everyday English around responsibility and protection. First, what is insurance in this context? It's a kind of financial protection. If something happens to the car, like an accident, a scratch, or a breakdown, insurance helps cover the cost. In spoken English, instead of saying the full sentence, I would like to buy insurance, most people just say, yeah, I'll take the insurance, or sure, give me the coverage. Notice the word coverage. That's another common way to say insurance. You might hear the phrase full coverage or basic coverage. If you want to ask for more information, you can say, what does the insurance cover, or is that full coverage? These are smart and polite ways to ask questions and understand your options. Now, sometimes people feel frustrated or nervous when renting a car, especially if something goes wrong with their reservation. In the original conversation, the customer says, you better give me the insurance, in a very strong tone. Let's talk about that expression, you better. It's actually short for you had better. It's used to give a strong suggestion or even a warning. For example, you'd better lock the door before you leave, or you'd better study for your test. It's not exactly polite when said with anger, but it's very common in real spoken English. Just remember, if you say it calmly, it can sound more like advice. For instance, you'd better take an umbrella, it might rain. That sounds helpful, not rude. Understanding the difference in tone is important. And here's another bonus. When someone says, you better give me the insurance because I'm going to beat the hell out of this car, it's a joke, but a very aggressive one. The phrase beat the hell out of means to damage something badly. It's very strong and definitely not polite, so use it with caution and only when you're sure the situation is okay for humor. Learning to recognize humor, threats, or frustration in tone helps you understand native English more deeply and respond with the right words and the right attitude. Now let's focus on one of the most useful expressions in spoken English, you'd better. This phrase sounds simple, but it carries a lot of meaning and emotion. It's often used to give strong advice, warnings, or urgent suggestions. For example, if someone says, you'd better call your boss, it means that calling your boss is very important, and if you don't do it, something bad might happen. The full form is you had better, but most people shorten it in conversation to you'd better. You can also drop the had completely in very informal speech and just say, you better. Let's look at how this is used in real situations. Imagine a parent speaking to a child, you'd better clean your room before dinner. Or a friend warning you, you'd better take a coat, it's cold outside. In both cases, the speaker is urging someone to do something because it's the smart or necessary choice. Tone really matters here. If you say it calmly and kindly, it sounds like good advice. But if you say it with anger or threat, it can feel harsh or even aggressive. For example, you'd better be quiet can sound helpful if said softly, but rude if shouted. So always pay attention to how you sound. This phrase is also helpful when you want to avoid using stronger words. Instead of saying, you must do this, or you have no choice, you can say, you'd better do it, and it sounds a little softer. In the car rental example, the man says, you better give me the insurance. Sounds very strong, almost like a threat. In daily life, you should avoid that tone unless you're joking with someone close or expressing frustration in a safe way. Here's a tip for practice. Try creating your own you'd better sentences about your day. For example, you'd better set your alarm or you'll be late for work, or you'd better write that email before lunch. Practicing like this helps you get used to the rhythm and natural sound of the phrase. It's one of those expressions that can make you sound much more fluent and confident in conversations. Let's now take a closer look at another powerful expression from our conversation, beat the hell out of. This is a very strong emotional phrase that people use when they want to emphasize how badly something was damaged or how intensely something was done. For example, when someone says, he beat the hell out of that car, it means the car was hit, kicked, or handled very roughly, probably until it was nearly destroyed. But be careful, this phrase is very informal and often sounds aggressive. You'll hear it in movies, arguments, or when someone is joking in a tough or exaggerated way. Let's explore some real examples to understand how it's used. Imagine a sports game. Our team beat the hell out of them last night. That doesn't mean violence. It means they won the game very easily and powerfully. Or in another context, someone might say, he beat the hell out of that punching bag, meaning he was hitting it very hard during a workout. In all these cases, the idea is extreme force or intensity. Now let's talk about how to use it and when not to use it. This phrase can sound very rude if used in the wrong situation. You wouldn't say this in a job interview or in a polite meeting. But among close friends, especially in casual or joking conversations, it might be okay. You could also hear this structure with other words replacing hell. For example, he scared the life out of me, or she worked the daylights out of that project. These are all ways to make the action sound stronger. But again, they're emotional and should be used with care. If you want a safer alternative, you can say, he damaged the car badly, or she worked really hard on that. Those versions are softer and more formal. But learning phrases like beat the hell out of helps you understand native speakers better, especially when watching TV shows, listening to podcasts, or hearing emotional stories. The more you listen and observe, the easier it gets to understand which expressions are powerful, which are polite, and when to use each one naturally. Now let's shift our focus to a common situation in rentals and travel, when the company says they ran out of something. This phrase, run out of, is extremely useful in daily English. It means that something is no longer available because it has been completely used up. In the rental car conversation, they say, we ran out of cars. This means there are no cars left. But this expression is used far beyond travel. For example, you might hear, we ran out of milk, or I ran out of battery. You can also use it to talk about less physical things like I ran out of time, or we ran out of options. The structure is simple, subject plus ran out of plus noun, and it always means the supply has ended. Let's practice with a few examples. Imagine you're at a cafe and they say, sorry, we ran out of chocolate cake. You could respond with, oh, that's okay. What do you still have? That's a great example of using both listening and speaking in a natural way. It's also polite. Sometimes people say this in the present tense, we're running out of gas, which means there's still a little left, but not for long. In this way, the phrase can also be a warning. For example, I'm running out of patience means the speaker is about to lose their temper. It's a way of signaling frustration, but still staying somewhat polite. You might also hear this in business. We've run out of budget for this month, or in social situations. I've run out of things to say. Learning this phrase helps you describe real problems in a clear and natural way. It also allows you to respond more confidently. For instance, if someone tells you they ran out of something, you could ask, when will you have more, or is there anything else you recommend? These are great follow-up questions that keep the conversation moving and help you solve the problem calmly. Understanding run out of gives you power in conversations where plans change, supplies disappear, or decisions must be made quickly. It's one of those phrases that pops up in everyday life constantly, and now you're ready to use it well. Another practical phrase you'll often hear when dealing with bookings or travel arrangements is, make a reservation. This is something many English learners already know, but let's go deeper into how it's actually used in real-life situations. When you make a reservation, you're arranging for something to be held for you, usually a table at a restaurant, a hotel room, or, like in our example, a rental car. The most basic way to say this is, I'd like to make a reservation. You can also say, I made a reservation for tonight, or do I need to make a reservation in advance? These are all polite and very natural expressions. You'll often hear the word booking used the same way. For example, I booked a table, or I have a booking under the name Lisa. Both make a reservation and book are useful, and you can use them interchangeably in many cases. However, reservation is more common in the US and booking is often used in the UK. Now, let's go a bit further. Sometimes people say, I have a reservation, and the agent might say, I'm sorry, I don't see it in the system. That's when you can say something like, can you check again, please? I made the reservation online, or I have the confirmation number right here. Knowing how to calmly express your position in situations like this helps you stay in control and keeps the conversation respectful. When someone asks, what name is the reservation under? They're asking who made the booking. You can answer it's under Marco, or it should be under my husband's name. Also, when someone asks you, do you have a reservation? Don't just say yes. A better way to answer is, yes, it's under Marco, or yes, for 2 people at 7 p.m. Giving full information makes you sound more fluent and helps the other person assist you faster. All of these expressions are extremely common in travel, dining, and business situations. The more you practice saying them out loud, the more confident and natural your speech will become when it really matters. Let's now explore another very common and useful question you might hear when renting a car or checking into a hotel. Would you like to leave a deposit? This might seem like a small detail, but it's packed with important vocabulary and cultural understanding. First, what is a deposit? In English, a deposit is money you give in advance as a kind of security. You usually get it back if everything is returned in good condition. For example, at a car rental, they might say, we'll need a $200 deposit for the vehicle. You can respond with, sure, is that refundable, or will I get that back when I return the car? These questions are polite and smart. They help you understand the rules. You might also hear this in apartment rentals. We require a security deposit, or at restaurants, we take a deposit for large groups. It's all about holding your place or showing you're serious. Now let's look at useful ways to respond. If you agree, you can say, that's fine, or no problem, I'll use my credit card. If you want to ask more, try, what happens if there's a problem with the car, or how long does it take to get the deposit back? These questions help you protect yourself and learn important language at the same time. The phrase, leave a deposit, is often followed by details. I left a $100 deposit in cash, or they took the deposit from my card. Notice the verbs leave and take. Both are commonly used with deposit. And here's another tip. Sometimes you'll hear the word hold used the same way. We'll put a hold on your card means the money won't be taken permanently unless there's damage or a problem. This is common in hotels and car rentals. Understanding how deposits work and how to talk about them helps you avoid confusion and speak with more confidence. Whether you're traveling, shopping for services, or handling responsibilities in English, this vocabulary will keep you prepared and professional in every conversation. Let's wrap up by looking at how to handle those final steps when renting a car or any kind of formal transaction with confidence and clarity in English. After you've chosen the car, agreed to the rate, selected insurance, and maybe left a deposit, you'll often be asked to sign something called a rental agreement. This is the contract that outlines all the important details: how long you're renting the car, what kind of car it is, the price, the insurance terms, and the return policy. The phrase, sign the agreement or review the rental agreement, is what you'll likely hear. You can respond by saying, sure, can I read it first? Or what does this section mean? These are smart, polite ways to check your understanding. Don't be afraid to ask. It's always better to be clear. The agreement might include terms like daily rate, which means the cost per day, mileage limit, which refers to how far you're allowed to drive, or fuel policy, which tells you whether you need to return the car with a full tank. If anything is unclear, you can say, "Could you explain the fuel policy?" Or, "Is there a penalty if I go over the mileage?" These are all real, useful questions. When it's time to take the car, the agent might say, "The car is in spot 42, or please check for any damage before you leave." At this point, another good phrase to use is, "Can we walk around the car together?" This shows you're being careful and responsible. If you notice anything unusual, say, "There's a scratch on the door. Can you make a note of that?" It's a simple sentence, but it can save you problems later. And finally, when you return the car, be ready to hear, "Did you refill the tank?" Or, "We're checking the car now." You can respond with, "Yes, I filled it up," or, "There shouldn't be any issues." These phrases help you complete the process smoothly and professionally. Mastering these real-life expressions, reviewing agreements, asking for details, confirming conditions, makes you sound fluent, confident, and prepared. These are the moments where good English isn't just about grammar. It's about getting what you need, solving problems, and moving through the world with ease.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. To make an arrangement to hold something for later.
Make a reservation.
To make arrangements for later.
Book.
To not have any.
Have no.
The protection that is offered by an insurance policy.
Coverage.
Contract signed with details of car rental.
Rental agreement.
To have no more.
Run out.
You should.
You better.
To leave money when you rent a car and that you get back if you return the car in good condition.
Leave a deposit.
To purposefully abuse something.
Beat the hell out of.
A medium-sized car.
Mid-size vehicle.
The amount of money to be paid per day the car is rented.
Daily rate.
At the present time.
At the moment.
A small car.
Compact.
Sport utility vehicle.
SUV.
Protection from costs of accidental damage.
Insurance.
Let's try that faster. To make an arrangement to hold something for later.
Make a reservation.
Contract signed with details of car rental.
Rental agreement.
To not have any.
Have no.
A small car.
Compact.
At the present time.
At the moment.
Sport utility vehicle.
SUV.
To have no more.
Run out.
The protection that is offered by an insurance policy.
Coverage.
The amount of money to be paid per day the car is rented.
Daily rate.
A medium-sized car.
Mid-size vehicle.
Protection from costs of accidental damage.
Insurance.
You should.
You better.
To purposefully abuse something.
Beat the hell out of.
To make arrangements for later.
Book.
To leave money when you rent a car and that you get back if you return the car in good condition.
Leave a deposit.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Make a reservation. I've made a dinner reservation at our favorite restaurant for tomorrow night. Make a reservation. I'm sorry, sir. You need to make a reservation in order to eat here. Make a reservation.
Many hotels now offer a service where you can make an online reservation.
Have no. You have no right to tell me what to do. Have no. We have no electricity in the building. Have no. Susan has no money since she lost her job. Run out. We're going to run out of gasoline. You need to find a gas station soon. Run out. Can you buy some milk on your way home? We ran out last night. Run out. My pen ran out of ink. Can you lend me one, please? You better. You better go to the doctor before that cold gets any worse. You better. You better watch out. It's dangerous to go out this late. You better. She better change her attitude or her boss is going to fire her. Beat the hell out of. Our team beat the hell out of the other team last week in the game. Beat the hell out of. If you ever do that again, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. Beat the hell out of.